progressive web apps play a very important role. Right now also you see them pop up more and more on the web. There's a very big chance that you've already been using a progressive web app because they look just like a regular web page as long as you did not yet install them. And the good news here is that more and more vendors of browsers and operating systems start to support have started to support progressive web apps. So there are a few announcements here on this page. So you see the Google announcement. They were one of the first with, at first, Android, but also Chrome OS supports progressive web apps. You can use progressive web apps on iOS. So you can use on your iPhone or your iPad. You can use these applications that first start off as a web page but behave like a normal application later. And even Microsoft supports Edge. With Edge, they support progressive web apps in Windows 10. So there's a broad support for progressive web apps. There are many application examples that are already using the technology. So there are a few here on the right. You have Instagram. Uber is using progressive web apps already. There's a progressive web app for Telegram, and there's a light version of Twitter, and there are many, many more, but these are some well-known examples. But what is a progressive web app exactly? So it's actually a combination of technologies where most of them have already been around, but they are all combined. They make a progressive web app. And the goal of a progressive web app is to have something available that is fast. So it caches a lot of data. It caches the application. Think of a news website where the application can already preload some news articles. So whenever you click a headline, the data, most of the data, let's say the text but not the images, is already available. So this provides fast loading. This provides a smooth user interface because there's no or limited activity because the screen needs to be refreshed, for instance. It needs to be reliable, so this is of course something that fits in a whole bunch of categories, but what is very important for our kind of applications is that it needs to be resilient against shaky network connections, or even a situation where you do not have any network connection at all. Think of a calendar application or a mail application where after you've loaded the application and loaded some of the data, you can even read email, create a new message, create a new meeting in your calendar while you are not connected to the internet anymore. Let's say you're in a train somewhere in Germany. I've had experience where you get disconnected from time to time, and this would give you the opportunity to continue to work. This is one of the things that we can do with caching, so it's a little bit a mixture between the fast and reliable, but this is something that a progressive web app can do. Security, obviously also very important. The main thing for progressive web apps is that they must be loaded over a secure connection, and there cannot be mixed content. So everything needs to come from one source, which is secured with SSL. And then the most important part for a user is it needs to be engaging. So it needs to be very easy to install. If you start using a progressive web app, it usually starts by clicking a link. Let's say something you've received from your system administrator to start using a Kopano meeting. You would click it, it would load in your browser, and at the bottom of the page it would show, hey, this is an application, would you like to install it? Which would give you an icon on the home screen, which would give you a full screen experience. So we get rid of all the browser, the address bar and the buttons, things that you don't need when you're using an application. So you get the full screen experience, and it gets access to all sorts of operating system provided features, and this is something that can be done through a technology called a Serviceworker. So you can have push notifications. Think of an incoming call, a meeting that is upcoming, a new incoming email. We can do that from a web application without it actually. So this is actually something that gives you, as a user, the feeling that there's a real application running in the background, while in reality it's the browser that provides a lot of these features. But it's essentially an application that you can install and update without going through the App Store of your device.